let us take a few moments to focus our hearts and minds on the joy of this occasion. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that action should culminate in wisdom. As we begin a new academic year together, this is my prayer for you, that your senses are alert and eager for knowledge, that your studies impart to you understanding, and that as you make your journey through Christopher Newport, all of your actions culminate in wisdom and are directed toward a purpose greater than yourself. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. I'm pleased to welcome our new captains back to this magnificent Diamondstein Concert Hall of the Ferguson Center for the Arts for another important event in your very first week at Christopher Newport University. 2 nights ago, 1,400 of us gathered for Fear to Freedom, Be the Change, a very serious and difficult subject, but one that must be confronted head on. It was a powerful evening. I thank you for your attention and for the remarkable tribute that you paid Rosemary, our student leaders, the survivors that spoke so bravely, and our colleagues, when at the end of the program, you gave them a spontaneous and sustained standing ovation. I can tell you it's moments like that that touch people's hearts. There was an Emmy award-winning television news reporter in attendance on Tuesday night. He's known and respected far and wide for his hard-hitting, incisive journalism. He called me the next morning and he said, "Paul, I've never been more impressed with a group of young women and men. After spending that evening at Christopher Newport with your students, no one could ever question the future of America." He was talking about you. And that's why I love this place. Because every year, I have the opportunity to welcome the most extraordinarily gifted and promising group of young men and women to this campus. You bring such intellect, You bring such hearts. You bring such promise. And with that comes such great responsibility. And this world needs you so desperately. And that's what this day is all about. We gather this morning for our honor convocation. Our special thanks to Dr. Laurie Underwood, the Dean of our College of Arts and Humanities, to Dr. Mark Reimer and the Brass Quintet, and the senior voices for helping us honor country and for prayers. I'm pleased to share the platform with our distinguished provost, Dr. David Dowdy, our deans, Drs. Bob Colvin, Nicole Guajardo, Laurie Underwood, and George Ebbs, the president of our Faculty Senate, Dr. Jana Adamaitis, Dr. Jay Paul, the most senior member of our faculty who leads our academic procession, and all the members of the university's superb faculty. Our purpose this morning is to underscore the seriousness of our shared academic purpose and the importance we place on living in a community of honor. This is a special day because it marks the beginning of your academic life at Christopher Newport University. And it's a significant step in a lifelong journey in the pursuit of truth and knowledge. In the memorable words of a beloved former colleague, Provost Richard Somerville, and I quote, "Truth is the faith of academic life. Honor is the ethical compass which guides us all in the practice of this faith. Together they make learning valuable, teaching credible, and wisdom possible. These are precious gifts, and it's because they're so precious that we're here today. You see, the classes you'll take will in large measure shape your academic life. There'll be books to read, papers to write, and examinations to take. You'll conduct experiments in laboratories, draw and paint in studios, and perform in concert halls and theaters. This faculty will engage you in the discovery of new and exciting knowledge. We'll challenge you to think critically, analyze carefully, and use your learning for the betterment of this world. Along the way, you'll encounter many shining moments. Those experiences you share with classmates and faculty, when the experiment works, when the audience gives you a standing ovation, or when together you savor the joy of understanding a difficult concept. The successful journey also involves a measure of luck. On commencement day, seniors toss a penny into the Saunders Fountain alongside the chapel for good luck in their life after graduation. A wonderful Christopher Newport tradition. Today, when you sign the honor code, you'll receive a lucky penny. We hope you'll keep that penny for the next 4 years and then toss it into the fountain on your way to graduation on that festive day. But remember this, the harder you work, the luckier you will be. Allow me to read the beautiful words that accompany each penny, written by a former Christopher Newport professor, Dr. Tracy Swartz. Listen to these words. inscribe these words into your hearts and minds. This penny is but a small tribute to the spirit of honor of all those who learn and lead here. To give your word and keep it as a person of integrity. To treasure the life of the mind and the spirit of intellectual inquiry. To value richness of character over richness of purse. To give because to you much has been given. To seek important work and to do it with all your heart. Keep this faith as you become a citizen of CNU, of the nation and the world. And one day, as you remember the grandeur of the Ferguson Center, the beauty of the Great Lawn, the tranquility of the James, and the friends and mentors of your youth, you will know that you have lived a life of honor and significance. Several years ago, we lost our beloved Tracy Swartz after a long and courageous battle with cancer. Although Tracy is no longer with us, her memory will always be cherished and her presence always felt on this campus. Her mother, N.C. Teets, is with us today, standing in Tracy's footsteps. And I would ask N.C. to stand so we can express our affection and gratitude to her. In truth, your academic journey will be successful and enriching only if you work very hard and understand the principles that are the foundation of this academic community. Our purpose at Christopher Newport is to instruct and inspire minds and hearts and create good citizens and leaders. We want you to possess a commitment to excellence, a passion for engagement, a moral compass to direct and guide your life, and a strong sense of your responsibility for making this world a better place. And for us, honor is all important. We want this to be a place where all people and possessions are respected, where we tell the truth, and where your academic work will always be your own. You see, character, honor, integrity, these are qualities that determine who we are, how we live, and powerfully shape our ability to live meaningful and consequential lives. A second value that Christopher Newport cherishes is that other people matter. The tradition that makes this point simply and yet powerfully is our speaking tradition. When you walk past another person on this campus, look them in the eye. Speak and smile. Don't pretend they don't exist. When we pass people by and we ignore them, what we're saying is you don't matter. Everyone matters. Believe that everyone that crosses your path has something to impart. This simple practice of saying hello honors the humanity of others. It underscores the importance of other people in our lives, and it contributes to that wonderful sense of community that makes Christopher Newport special. I once visited an historic campus of another university. I walked that campus because I wanted to admire its rich history and architecture. And I walked across that campus for 20 or 30 minutes, and I was struck by the fact that not one person spoke to anyone else, engaged anyone else in any way. I finally grabbed a student by the arm and made him talk to me. Where are you from? He was from Northern Virginia. What year are you? I'm in my 3rd year. Tell me, why is it nobody on this campus speaks to anyone, acknowledges anyone, engages anyone? This is what he told me. He said, at the university, we're a microcosm of the world. He said, if you were walking the streets of New York, nobody would speak to you. That's just the way the world is. I walked away and I thought, how sad is that? You see, at Christopher Newport, we're not interested in the way the world is. We're interested in the way the world ought to be. We're not interested in conforming to the world. We're interested in transforming the world. That's what makes us different. And that's what makes us special. Finally, a third value that makes Christopher Newport precious is that we teach the importance of leadership, your leadership. Through the classes that we teach, the lives that we lead, the activities that we share, we hope that you'll be inspired to become good citizens and leaders, young women and men who will choose to reach out and engage. We change the world one person at a time. And it begins with each of us, here and now. I wasn't much older than you are when I was elected to the United States Congress. I served in the House and the United States Senate. I realized my life's dreams just a few years older than you. It was an extraordinary opportunity, and I hope that I made a difference along the way. But I realized that the future of this world is not going to be shaped by great nation states or powerful parliaments or mighty armies, as important as they all are. The future of this world is going to be shaped by people just like you and me, who are willing to reach out and change the world one person at a time. And unless we have the courage and the willingness and the ability to do that, the world is not going to change, and lives are not going to be enriched, and it's up to us. And that's why leadership is important. And that's why you're so important. My wife, Rosemary, spent a week in Calcutta with Mother Teresa, a little tiny Roman Catholic nun that began the Sisters of Charity that serve the poorest of the poor all over the world, whose work has been championed and honored by people of all faiths and no faith and governments of all kinds all over the world, simply because they serve and love those that no one else cares about. And Rosemary served the poorest of the poor, the dying, in the House of the Dying in Calcutta. And the sisters would go out into the streets of Calcutta and would pick up dying, diseased bodies from the streets, and they would bring them back to the House of the Dying, where she and the sisters would serve them in their last hours, in their last days. And Rosemary asked Mother Teresa, how do you do this? How have you done this through your entire life? And Mother Teresa said, Rosemary, God doesn't call us to be successful. God calls us to be faithful. But where do you start? There's death, and there's despair, and there's disease. There's everywhere. It's everywhere. Where do you start? Where do you start? Little tiny Mother Teresa reached up to my little tiny wife, who's at 5'1", and took her chin and pulled it down and said, Rosemary, go home to America and start with what's directly in front of your eyes. That's where we start. That's how we begin to change the world. And that's exactly what so many of you did yesterday. Yesterday morning, day one of service, almost 500 students and faculty and staff worked at over 40 schools and nonprofit organizations throughout this peninsula of Virginia. We don't have to go far. All we have to do is roll up our sleeves and respond to exactly what's right before our eyes. That's how we change the world. Leadership, honor, service. These are the values that define and distinguish Christopher Newport. Live these values, and you and the world will be better for it. Real success is a life well lived. My hope and prayer for each of you is that you will choose to live lives of meaning and consequence and purpose. At Christopher Newport, we call that lives of significance. Recently, we asked a number of our students who came as you did in a first year and who then served here as students for 4 years. We asked them to tell us in their own words what a life of significance had come to mean to them. I want you to see their faces. I want you to hear their voices. Thank you for gracing this campus.
At Christopher Newport University, we embrace success.
But we value far more, a life that is focused on something greater.
Leading a life of significance means making a positive difference in the lives of others.
It means striving for excellence and honor.
And respecting and valuing one another.
A life of significance is about leadership and good citizenship.
And devotion to beliefs and causes larger than ourselves.
At Christopher Newport, I'm learning to lead such a life.
I am empowered by the realization that not only can I change the world,
but I'm obligated to do so.
I've learned that opportunity is the result of hard work.
And with success comes great responsibility.
The decisions I make
and the actions I take
affect the people,
community,
and world around me.
Regardless of where we come from
or what we study,
we apply all we learn in the classroom
to make the world a better place.
We learn to lead.
We learn to serve.
We learn the importance of character
and personal responsibility.
A life of significance is a life of honor
and compassion.
We care about each other.
We engage and reach out to help,
rather than turn and walk away.
It's not easy to live this way,
but it is the right way to live.
With these values, I will be a leader,
an engaged citizen,
and lead a purposeful life.
At moments of consequence,
I will be prepared to do the work that shapes,
defines,
and enriches the world.
This is what we value at CNU.
This is what it means to be a captain.
This is what it means to be a captain.
This is what it means to be a captain.
This is how we define significance.
Thank you, President Tribble, for those inspiring words. My name is Dave Dowdy, and I'm the Provost, or Chief Academic Officer, here at Christopher Newport University. As the Provost, it's my privilege to invite you to join our community of honor. As you anticipate your academic journey over the next 4 years, I encourage you to think of it as an adventure, for that is exactly what it is, an adventure of learning and discovery. Learning the known, discovering the unknown, learning one's strengths and discovering one's passions. These are the fundamentals of the college experience. But like most adventures and most worthwhile things in life, this will not come easily. When we think of the great adventurers of the past, Columbus, Lewis, Earhart, and Armstrong, we note that every one involved preparation and hard work. And so it will be with you here at Christopher Newport. Engaging in this adventure, learning things about the world and about yourself will require time, preparation, and hard work. But learning and discovery, the mere acquisition of knowledge, is not enough. Mahatma Gandhi called knowledge without character a deadly sin. And Martin Luther King Jr., while a student at Morehouse College, wrote that, quote, intelligence plus character, that is the goal of a true education. You see, people will judge you by what you know, but they will also, to quote Dr. King again, judge you by the content of your character, by who you are. And those character traits that President Tribble just spoke about, honor, honesty, integrity, dedication, generosity, and compassion, these are things that can be developed. And here at Christopher Newport, we will offer you that opportunity in addition to the acquisition of knowledge. You see, if you become that person of great character, a woman of honor, honesty, and integrity, a man of dedication, generosity, and compassion, the world will come to you seeking answers and looking for leadership. And today we take the first step by inviting you to join not just our community of scholars, but our community of honor in this Honor Code induction ceremony. There are 4 significant parts to this ceremony. First, we will light the candle of truth and knowledge that stands next to the podium. Each year, we ask a student body leader to perform the ceremonial lighting. This year's student leader is Casey Chelly from Williamsburg, Virginia. Casey is our newly elected Student Honor Council president and is a senior majoring in art history. Casey's lighting of the candle of truth and knowledge symbolizes the beginning of your academic journey at Christopher Newport University. Second, you will stand and repeat the Honor Code. This recitation marks your commitment to the CNU community of honor, one of honesty, integrity, and personal responsibility. For the third part of the ceremony, you will come forward and sign the Honor Code registry. Signing of the registry seals your commitment to the Honor Code and symbolizes your formal membership in the CNU academic community. Upon signing the Honor Code, the university witnesses at your table will give you a lucky penny. As President Tribble mentioned, this 4th part of the ceremony represents one of our most cherished traditions. On graduation day, each senior tosses this penny into the fountain for good luck. We hope you will keep this penny as a constant reminder of your ultimate goal, a degree from Christopher Newport University, and that you will toss this penny into the fountain on your graduation day. University witnesses, please take your places at the signing tables. Casey Chelly, President of the Student Honor Council, will now light the candle of truth and knowledge. The lighting of this candle symbolizes your pursuit of truth and knowledge here at Christopher Newport University. May truth and knowledge always illuminate your academic journey and your life. Dr. Jenna Adamitis, President of the Faculty Senate, will now lead us in the recitation of the Honor Code.
Good morning. As this is an important tradition at CNU, we ask that you take this time to reflect on your future in our community. Please keep your voices to a whisper and refrain from using your cellular devices during the entire signing of the Honor Code. We now invite all members of the university community to please stand and recite the Honor Code with the newest members of the CNU family. On my honor, I will maintain the highest standards of honesty, integrity, and personal responsibility. This means that I will not lie, cheat, or steal. And as a member of this academic community, I am committed to creating an environment of respect and mutual trust. You may now be seated until your row is called. Will the marshals please direct students forward for the signing of the Honor Code?
Well, thank you very much. I will add just a few words to bring this very special ceremony to a close. In my son Paul's senior year at college, one of his good friends and classmates tragically lost his life. At the memorial service for Colum Owens of Atlanta, Georgia, a passage was read from his diary in which he described how he wanted his life to unfold. He wrote these words as a freshman in college when he was your age. 4 years later, they were read at his funeral. I truly realize now what is important for the rest of my life. I want to be well educated. I want a group of friends whom I enjoy spending time with and who will love me. I want to marry a woman I know I'm in love with. I want to make a decent living, but live below my means. I want to find God and spend lots of time contemplating Him and conversing with Him. I want to grow old with a woman I love, spend time with grandchildren, cry at funerals and weddings, die a happy, successful, respected, loved, and content man. And then Colum wrote, look at this every year. Become this man. Lead this life. End of quote. This is the time for each of you to choose what kind of woman, what kind of man you'll become, what kind of life you will lead. Choose wisely. Live a life that matters. Live a life of significance. Choose to engage, to lead, to serve, to love. Choose to set this world on fire. With your recitation of the Honor Code oath and the signing of the Honor Code registry, you have now become full members in the Christopher Newport University learning community, with all of its rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Congratulations and best wishes. My thanks to the Provost, David Dowdy, to Casey Celli, the President of the Student Honor Council, to Janet Adamitis, to Dr. Paul and Dr. Underwood, to the brass quintet, to the CNU Voices, to all the members of the Christopher Newport community who participated in this Honor Code ceremony this morning. Following the ceremony, all the members of the Christopher Newport family are invited to assemble for lunch, and we won't do that on the Great Lawn because of the heat, but rather in the Freeman Center today. At the conclusion of the picnic, Casey will welcome the class of 2020 by the ringing of the bell in the clock tower. And each of you are invited to ring the bell for the first time today. 4 years from now, at graduation, you'll have the opportunity to ring the bell once again. At graduation in May, that bell rang for 3 hours without ceasing. So students, please change into more comfortable clothes and gather in the Freeman Center to enjoy the festivities. In closing, I ask you to stand for the singing of the Alma Mater by the CNU Voices. Dr. Paul will then divest the mace. Dr. Underwood will offer a prayer. Dr. Paul will then lead the stage party and the faculty in academic recession, students and guests are asked to remain seated until the faculty has then departed. Thank you very, very much.
Knowledge, truth, eternal wisdom, alma mater we adore. Your sons and daughters walk the pathway trod by those who came before. With passion, loyalty, and courage, we wave the silver and the blue. Our alma mater shining brightly. Hail, all hail to CNU.
And so, brothers and sisters in our community of honor, go forth into the world in peace, of good courage, holding fast to that which is good, rendering to none evil for evil. Instead, strengthening the faint-hearted, supporting the weak, helping the afflicted, honoring everyone, love and serve. Amen.